how much control do you really have? How much control does anyone really have? And how much is that really an issue? That's going to be the subject of the video. Because a lot of human suffering could be said to boil down to believing you're in control and the weight of that responsibility, and believing others are in control and how much you can hold them responsible for what they did to you or to your family or to something. A lot of tension and pain and suffering revolves around that structure, that belief. We think if we have certain thoughts or certain feelings, it means we did it and we're responsible for it. It means something about us. It means we're going to hell, or it means we're a violent person for having such a horrible thought that we wanted to hit that person because I felt so angry. And we can just beat ourselves up in this cycle of the mind, so to say. And this video hopefully be point out that maybe you don't have as much control as you think you do. And that's not really a bad thing. This is, again, true for the supposed other. So, we're going to do a little experiment. I want you to go get a piece of food that you like or you're okay with, and then come back. So pause the video, get a piece of food, and then come back and try this. So, assuming you have the piece of food, close your eyes, take a few breaths, and then just put the food in your mouth, take a bite, don't chew. You may notice that taste started to happen. Maybe suddenly the smell of the item is in your nose, in your mind. Maybe there's thoughts about this thing now, this item in your mouth, this smell that just happened. Maybe start to chew. Maybe you're noticing there's flavor, enjoyment, emotional enjoyment, liking this. There's more thoughts about this. There's more smell in the room. Maybe there's some sounds that were happening that were in the background. Now, how much of that did you do? How much of that did you make happen? How much of that were you responsible for? Did you make yourself taste this item? Did you form the flavors? Did you think the thoughts about the flavors? Did you make the smell happen? The thoughts that followed the smell and the taste, did you make those happen? Did you think about what you were gonna feel about those? Or did they just kind of happen? Did the sounds that were taking place, did you make yourself listen at the same time that you were chewing? Or was there something more mysterious, maybe more organic, that wasn't as obvious? Maybe you're thinking, oh no, that it was the brain and the body and the nervous system, and that's what took place. That's what made this happen. I mean, that's a theory, but we don't really know. There's just experience, and maybe now there's a theory or a reason you can come up with that you feel like you're coming up with, or is that too just happening? So how much are you really in control? You might say, oh, well, okay, maybe I'm not in control of seeing, I'm not in control of hearing, I'm not in control of tasting, I'm not in control of my thoughts or the feelings that I have, but I am in control of my choices. Okay, maybe fair enough, but aren't your choices based upon the things that you're not in control of? I mean, you're not in control of your thoughts, sights, taste, touch, feelings, and so what are you choosing if it's not based upon anything that you're controlling? Like, you're basically making choices you're supposedly making choices off of things that aren't in your control. So how is that really reflective of actual, what do you call it? It's like how much of that is actually accurate? If everything that I just mentioned is out of your control, how much of your supposed making a choice is actually accurating it? Because what's really in control? Now, hopefully, some of this is opening up something. Like, oh, maybe there's a lot more that I don't have to hold responsibility for. I don't have to hold on to the fact that I'm as responsible for as much as I think I am. Because you might notice, or maybe you've found out in your life, that a lot of your suffering, or some of it, is because you hold yourself responsible for so much, and you hold the other person responsible for so much, right? Because if you think they have all this control, then you can feel like you can blame them or tell them not to do it because they shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't have that thought and that feeling and do that to me, and vice versa. I shouldn't have these thoughts and feelings and do that to you because I shouldn't. I have control. But you might be seeing that you don't really know one way or the other. So perhaps there's a certain amount of relaxation that can happen in this tendency to immediately come to that conclusion. Maybe there can be a space for something new or different in relationship to others and to yourself. Not to immediately jump to conclusion about what someone did or how they did it, because you don't really know if your sight or your hearing or your senses were completely accurate to what you think took place. You didn't have control of them. And I'm not saying you're completely out of control, although you may all be. I'm just pointing to something that the control that we think we have over thoughts, feelings, senses is not as accurate as it may seem. And that where it comes from or how it happens isn't as clear as it may seem. Alright, that's enough jailbreaking the mind for today. I'll leave you with that. Be curious to hear what you think, feel, went through. So leave a comment, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.